Right now, somewhere in the world, somebody is staring at their phone, switching between apps every few seconds. Not because they're busy, not because they're looking for something important, they're bored. And that's strange, because for almost all of human history, boredom barely existed in the way we experience it today. Think about your last boring moment. Maybe you were waiting in line, sitting in class, riding in a car, lying in bed. Within seconds, you probably reached for your phone. Your ancestors couldn't do that. For hundreds of thousands of years, there were no videos, no games, no music streaming, no social media, and no endless feed designed to keep attention locked to a screen. Yet somehow, they survived. So why does boredom feel so painful today? And why did evolution create it in the first place? The answer begins with a simple question. What actually is boredom? Most people think boredom is the absence of something. Nothing to do, nothing interesting, nothing exciting. But psychologists have discovered that boredom is not the absence of activity. It's a signal. Just like hunger tells you to find food and thirst tells you to find water, boredom tells you something else. Move, explore, pay attention to something new. In other words, boredom is your brain's way of saying that whatever you're doing right now isn't helping you learn, grow, or discover anything useful. And that signal may have helped our ancestors survive. Imagine you're a human living 50,000 years ago. Food sources change, animals migrate, weather shifts, danger appears without warning. If you spent every day sitting in the same place doing the same thing, your chances of survival would drop dramatically. The humans who explored found new water sources. The humans who experimented discovered better tools. The humans who wandered discovered new territories. Curiosity wasn't just interesting, it was life-saving. And boredom may have been the force pushing people toward curiosity. Researchers today often describe boredom as an uncomfortable motivational state. Your brain becomes dissatisfied with the present moment and starts searching for something better. From an evolutionary perspective, that's incredibly useful. A completely satisfied human would never innovate, never explore, never improve, never leave the cave. But here's where things become strange. The world your boredom evolved for no longer exists. For most of history, stimulation was rare. Today, it's everywhere. Your brain evolved to seek novelty. Modern technology delivers it instantly. One swipe, one click, one notification, one more video, and another, and another. Scientists have found that novel experiences trigger the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter heavily involved in motivation and reward. Contrary to popular belief, dopamine isn't really the chemical of pleasure, it's the chemical of pursuit. It makes you want things. It pushes you toward what might come next. Thousands of years ago, that system encouraged exploration. Today, it encourages scrolling. And that's created a problem no human civilization has ever faced before. For the first time in history, boredom can be eliminated almost instantly. Feeling bored? Open your phone, waiting for food, watch videos, standing in line, check social media, sitting alone, play a game. The average person now carries more entertainment in their pocket than an entire civilization possessed 100 years ago. Yet surveys consistently show that many people feel more restless than ever. Why? Because boredom has a hidden purpose. When you remove boredom entirely, you also remove what often comes after it: creativity. In one famous experiment, researchers asked participants to complete a boring task before testing their creative thinking. Surprisingly, the bored participants performed better. Their minds had started wandering. They began making unusual connections. They generated more ideas. The boredom had forced the brain to search for something new. Many of humanity's greatest ideas emerged during moments that looked unproductive. Walking, waiting, staring out a window, lying awake at night, doing absolutely nothing. The brain's default mode network becomes active during these quiet periods. This network is associated with imagination, memory, self-reflection, and future planning. In other words, when you think you're doing nothing, your brain may be doing some of its most important work. But modern life rarely allows those moments to happen. Every spare second can be filled. Every silence can be interrupted. Every moment of boredom can be escaped. And so we do, without realizing what we're losing. A century ago, a long train ride might involve hours of looking out the window. Today, most people would consider that unbearable. Not because the ride changed, because we changed. We become accustomed to constant stimulation. Psychologists sometimes call this the hedonic treadmill. As stimulation increases, expectations increase too. What once felt exciting becomes normal, then boring, then insufficient. The result is a strange paradox. The more entertainment we consume, the easier it becomes to feel bored. Not because there's less stimulation, because there's too much. Your brain adapts, the baseline shifts, and ordinary life starts feeling less interesting. But perhaps the most important thing about boredom isn't what it does to us, it's what it reveals. When distractions disappear, we're left alone with our thoughts, and many people find that uncomfortable. A phone can distract you from boredom, but it can also distract you from yourself. The questions you haven't answered, the decisions you've been avoiding, the dreams you've postponed, the future you're uncertain about. Boredom creates space, and in that space, thoughts emerge. For thousands of years, humans had no choice but to experience that space. They sat around fires, they walked long distances, they watched the stars, they waited, and in those quiet moments, civilizations were imagined. Stories were invented, ideas were born. Today, we have the power to eliminate boredom whenever it appears. But maybe that's not always a good thing, because boredom was never a design flaw. It was a feature, a signal created over millions of years to push humans beyond what they already knew. The feeling that makes you reach for your phone is the same feeling that once pushed explorers across oceans and hunters into unknown lands. It's the same force that encouraged invention, discovery, and creativity. The next time you're bored, try something unusual. Don't immediately escape it. Sit with it for a moment. Let your mind wander, because boredom isn't your brain shutting down, it's your brain searching for what comes next. And for most of human history, that's exactly what helped us survive.